there, kiddo. Yeah, come on in. Go ahead and take a seat. You can sit in the beanbag or the normal chair, whatever you want to do. Just pull it on up. Make sure you're close enough. Wanted to talk to you today about some things your teacher has brought to my attention, as well as concerns from your parent. We have noticed that you may be struggling a little bit with your classes. Okay. Alright, yeah, no problem with that. We're gonna get things sorted out here. Let me just log in and find you. You can just leave your pass on the corner of the table there. Okay. Put the meeting time in. And what it regards. And then I may take some notes, okay? Alright, so, like I said, talked to your homeroom teacher, your first period class, and also talked with your parent a little bit. We are just gonna kind of assess you today. There are suspicions that you may have ADHD. Nothing wrong with that. I have it myself, and I only just recently got diagnosed with it, maybe 2-3 years ago. So I didn't have this kind of assistance in school. At least it wasn't noticed because I was good at masking it, which I'm sure you have probably done up until this point, with minor things here and there that have kind of given you away. I know that, not that that's a bad thing, but I know that you're new to this school, and you know, big changes, some new stressors, trying to catch up with some things. It can start to pile on and get a little bit too much to handle. So gotta get out some things here. Is this new information to you, or did you have suspicions yourself? Or have people kind of poked fun at you for it? Yeah, some people, while it may be obvious to others, it's not always obvious to us, and people think it's funny to point out differences in learning or understanding, or how quickly you may or may not pick up on something. And that's not always the nicest way to kind of start looking into things. So we're gonna catch things before that starts for you here, because it's just seems like a typical thing kids do. So we have your first period teacher here who filled out the teacher informant assessment, and then your parent did this one online, and I just filled in the stuff at the top, but I have this from them, and then I do have to do the scoring at the bottom here because they were not capable of doing that. And then I may ask you some questions, but I am going to have you do your own assessment. It sometimes is easy to play down your experiences, or you may think you're over-exaggerating when you go to answer something. Put what you feel is the best representation for how you feel internally. I know sometimes there's imposter syndrome with things, and that may or may not be the correct use of that term, but sometimes it doesn't feel right and that you may be lying, and there's just a lot of feelings that come up. So I would like you to answer it to the best of your ability, and if you feel like you need to put a 4, put a 4. If it's a 2, put a 2. If you're kind of in between, personally, I would round up instead of down, but maybe it also depends on what the question is. So I have these for us here. I will work on this while you are filling out your little questionnaire assessment. I have to take this one piece of paper out, it's way too big. Doesn't fit right. And while you are new here, I would like to also introduce you to how I normally start these meetings. You can see the face chart behind me on the wall, but it's probably not the clearest to see. And then just put that out too, just in case. Oh, and then I'll need the assessment over here. I'll twist it in this chair. As you can see, the desk is a lot shorter than the height of this chair, so I have some issues sometimes turning in it, or my legs bump it. But it does its job. It's fine, I guess. Alright, put this back for now so it's out of our way. And I hope I'm not overloading you. Hope that stuff doesn't fall. Hope I'm not overloading you. We'll do one thing at a time. And if you have questions or concerns, please say something. We can go slower with what we're doing. I can explain things. We have a decent amount of time today for our time slot. I asked to have you out of class for at most an hour. We shouldn't have to go over that. We may be under that. So this might be kind of hard to see because sometimes the ones through the back shine through, but I just like to ask you at the beginning of this, which your feelings may have changed now that I informed you why you're here, but there's at least 3 feelings that you have right now. We've got this side, and I'll just run through them real quick because this may be new to you. Some students have seen these before and others haven't. So we have happy, sad, silly, proud, annoyed, surprised, excited, angry, worried, scared, love, sick, calm, bored, sleepy, hungry, embarrassed, ashamed, jealous, worn out. And then on this side, we have hyper, confident, distracted, confused, disgust, grief, lonely, guilt, skeptical, there's a fuzz in there, apathetic, overwhelmed, awe, on edge, invisible, strong, disobedient, friendly, resilient, secretive, and focused. Okay, so these will kind of just give me an idea of where you are at the beginning. Sometimes we'll check in at the end and see if anything's different. I know this can kind of seem kind of young for students, especially in ASMR HS. This is older kids now, but it's just helpful for me, and it's not just writing on paper, you know. So yeah, if you want to take a look at that and let me know. And then if you do have any like struggle explaining how you're feeling, we have the feeling wheel, which kind of takes the basic element of what you're feeling and drags it out to be more specific here. The back is for younger kids and such. I have that from when I worked at the other school previously. But I still have it in case they ask me to bounce around. So, yeah. And then I've got this, but I won't rush you. Take your time with looking that over and letting me know. Okay. Yeah, I'll go over that with you too. Okay, so did you pick at least 3? I feel like sometimes, for me especially, I find that I have a really hard time picking just one kind of emotion. So that's why we go with the 3 to kind of give you a little bit of opportunity to expand there, but okay. So you're a little worn out. Okay. Embarrassed. Understandable. Anything on the back? Confused. Okay. So let me just make a note of that. I am going to have to write things along here. And I'll have to clear that other clipboard for you. Or maybe I'll just give you this one. I should have enough space here. Let me do something real quick though. Oh, but I have more pencils today. I'll give you a blue one. Okay, I won't give you a blue one. I have the pencils, but they don't have lead. Okay, how about a green? Alright. So, let me just take some notes here while we're going through this so I don't forget anything and we can check in at the end. So, and then you said do you kind of want to go into those feelings? I can understand some of them because this is a little bit of a surprise that we've called you here for this kind of thing, but okay, so mentally exhausted. And embarrassed because, yeah, a little bit of bamboozling here. And overwhelmed. Yeah, this and then still being at a new school. Okay. And according to what your parents said when I talked to them over the phone prior to this, they mentioned that you are seeing a therapist outside of coming to the school counselor. Okay, all right, perfect. So technically, us at the school, we can't formally diagnose you with much of anything. We can suspect it and do like preliminary assessing. Further assessment would have to be kind of with specialists, and sometimes we do have those available at the schools, but we currently don't in this climate. Just a lot of needing people to bounce around to other schools, and it's a lot, and it's kind of rare that they're coming here because a lot of things get picked up, I would say, in the elementary years and the middle school years at the latest there, but this isn't unusual. You're not the first one to come in here for this. Here, anyway. So I will be sending these forms home with your parent, should we need to do that. I still have to score everything. Okay. Do you have anything else you want to discuss while you're in here today? Because like I said, I think we have an hour time slot that I've reserved at the least, so. Okay, you kind of understand then why we're doing this. Okay. Do you, well, do you have friends with ADHD or any other kind of neurodivergent brains? Okay. Okay. Yeah, and I do remember you had some sort of, was it an official IEP or was it just some accommodations that came up previously that we're honoring? Okay, all right. So, yeah, we don't have to go too far into that. I just remember when we got you in here that, yeah, that was you. Okay. So, all right, yeah, so it's not like a completely foreign idea to you then. Yeah, even personally, I was used to seeing the like hyperactive side of ADHD, but that's not everybody necessarily. Sometimes the hyperactivity is inside. So that's how it gets hidden a lot easier, I guess. Less easy to spot. So yeah, these assessments will help us because they kind of pick up on little details here and there, and then I believe it does ask you some like personal attention, things that you notice with yourself. And this one's just a short version. Like I said, we're just doing kind of preliminary things, and then if you go and talk to your therapist about it, they may suggest doing further testing, or they might just go along with what these say, because sometimes it's not necessary to go any further and they can just go off of what you have done so far. But yeah, personally, my cousin has ADHD as well, and she was always more hyperactive, so it was obvious with her from a very young age that she had it. But I was more, I would say I was a little bit more bossy and controlling with things. Then I eventually became quieter and quieter, so everything kind of went in as I grew up. And so it made it more difficult for people to tell externally what I was struggling with inside. And then those kinds of things, which I'm not sure if you're diagnosed with, and you can let me know if you want to, but can lead to anxiety and depression. Yeah, so sometimes, especially like doctors who aren't specifically trained in mental health will believe that you just have anxiety or depression, but sometimes those are symptoms of another thing going on that they just don't look into, especially right away. They make you do everything else before they have you try like medicines and actually get evaluated and things like that. So just to share a little bit of that with you about me to hopefully make you feel a little bit more comfortable. Okay. Any other concerns or anything I should probably write down before we get started? Okay, we'll just get to business then here. I'm gonna need a pen anyway for that. I love these pens. They're the thick, soft feel. I guess medium. I don't know, they just write so smooth every time. They're not fancy or anything, they just write nicely. Take this off of here and you can use this one because that one's got a lot of things on it, a lot of scribbles and notes. And we'll pull out these. No, I don't think I have what I would consider the full thing. I'm sure there's more parts to this than what's on here. But this is what was available to me and what they give me. You can fill out the top when you're ready to do that. It just says name of teen and then date of birth, gender, date of screening, and then the parent or guardian's name. But once and if we have to get to the point of asking your parent to come in and then having the conversation, they'll sign it then. So you can just fill out that stuff at the top that you're able to, and then this one is for you, and the pencil is right here. Gotta move all of this. Oh gosh, there's stuff underneath that stuff. I hate when that happens. Okay, and I'll just slide this to you. Gotta move my water. Again, small desk. That's why I gave you the clipboard. You can take it off the desk and write in your lap, whatever you want. Oh my goodness, how do I make these messes? See? Ugh. Just tiny desk, tiny desk. Alright, so like I said, the stuff at the top, you can fill that out on your own time. You can even wait till the end if you don't want to do that right away. The instructions, it says, please read each statement carefully and mark the appropriate response based on your observations of your behavior. Answer to the best of your abilities. And then it explains that 0 means never, 1 is rarely, 2 is sometimes, 3 is often, and 4 is always. I liked this one because that's in your face all the time, because sometimes when somebody explains what each one means and then you are left to kind of remember what they were, it makes it harder and it's a little distracting. So let's see. Do you want me to go with through them with you? Tripping over my own words. Okay. So the first one is often makes careless mistakes in schoolwork or other activities due to lack of attention to detail. There's nothing like shaming you. There's no shaming you with this. You can be totally honest and no one's going to judge you. It's literally just, I guess it's a form of judging. I don't know. But we're just going to assess and not make cruel judgments. Okay. Okay. So then you do the 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 and just mark the bubble. You do an X, a check, whatever you want. You can even circle it. I think they're doing schoolwork outside, like yard work, I mean, outside, because there's some odd sounds happening. Do you want me to go through each of them with you at a time, or do you want me to read them all to you and then you can kind of think on them? Okay, because while you're thinking about things, I can put some things away and do these. Like, I guess grading this thing. Okay, so I'll just read through them all real quick and then you can think about them. Take your time. 2 has difficulty sustaining attention in tasks or play activities. Frequently seems not to listen when spoken to directly. Struggles to follow through on instructions or finish tasks. avoids or is reluctant to change in tasks that require sustained mental effort. And then part 2 only has the 2 questions. Like I said, this is just a minimally invasive survey for you. I had another one, the one I personally used, and I have no idea where it went. So I had to find these, and I can't find that one that I personally took myself. But I liked that one better. It asked a lot of specific questions, and I just can't find it anywhere. So, and the ones that, like these ones that are detailed, were for, again, parent, teacher. They didn't have a student self-assessment, which, why are we only asking external people the experience? But I do understand the importance of having them. Okay, back to what I was saying. Part 2 is hyperactivity and impulsivity, and all that's on here is fidgets or taps hands or feet restlessly, and unable to stay seated in situations where it is expected. That one, I'm not too surprised if you say 0, because I never left my chair as, you know, as a student. I didn't get up and wander. I don't think I ever really saw that ever, unless it was a little bit more free time, free period kind of thing. So I'm gonna put these away. Just to get it off the desk, we'll pull this one back out at the end. Sounds like they're planting trees or something out there. A lot of bucket sounds. Yeah, so now we'll do that. I need to get a new binder too. That one's old. Old and roughed up. Okay, I'll stop talking now. Doing okay? Alright. Oh, it got quiet. Is the lighting in here okay? Okay. Yeah. I think it's a little darker than the last time you were in here. It's just all the lights, and then they reflect on my glasses and you can't even see me. Like, you can't look. Well, sometimes looking me in the eye is a little difficult for people, but you know what I mean. Okay. So those together and these together. You done? Okay. Let me find somewhere to put all of this. That one wants different sections all willy-nilly, so I have to jump around a little bit with that, but okay. Okay, so it looks like you marked mostly 3s. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I don't have the grading for this one, but normally when you mark in the, whatever the highest ones are, the last 2 highest ones are what they count. So, let's see here. Okay. Alright. And do you have, I assume you've never like researched or really looked into everything that kind of goes along with ADHD? Okay. So I was going to ask that on the back if you believe you have any experiences that have to go along with like your attention struggles and any executive dysfunction, which is like getting certain tasks done. Let me look up examples for certain, because I know I struggle with it, but of course when I go to do examples, they fly right out the head, you know? And that's an expression not even I've heard, so I just made that up. Let's see. Okay. A range of cognitive, emotional, and behavioral difficulties in planning, organizing, initiating tasks, focusing, and managing emotions. So in the ones that the teacher and your parent did, it does kind of ask about your emotions and how you react to things, but this one clearly didn't touch on that, and I think it's because I don't have the full thing. They gatekeep these things online. So, like, when you know you have to do something and it takes a lot of mental effort to kind of get you to do it, that's the initiating tasks thing. Any issues focusing in classes or certain rooms, like if this distracts you, let me know. But, you know, things like that, or if you hear a lot of sounds that kind of pull you out of any focus you have, there's a wide range. Let's see if I can get more specific details or examples. So yeah, task initiation, chronic procrastination, struggling to start or finish tasks and getting stuck on activities, organization and memory, difficulty prioritizing, losing belongings. Oh, that's not the same thing. Difficulty prioritizing, losing belongings, forgetting appointments, and time blindness, which I feel that if I didn't have this schedule throughout the day. Oh, especially with the time changing and the way that the sun's out longer, I thought it was a lot earlier yesterday than it actually was. Crazy how something so small throws you off, but emotional and behavioral control, emotional outbursts, impulsivity, poor anger management, and difficulty switching focus, cognitive flexibility, rigid thinking, difficulty adjusting to new situations, yeah, and trouble seeing other perspectives. And then, yeah, ADHD is listed under here as... Yeah, so doing all of this to kind of help you make sure you achieve everything you want to do and get you any aids and stuff. So yeah, let's flip this over. And then on the back, I want you to take any notes of experiences that you can think of while you're in here, because sometimes when you take these things to the therapist, you forget literally your entire life. Trust me. it happens when they go to ask you specific questions about the struggles and everything. So if you think of anything in here, there's no pressure. You can even like write some more stuff down at home. I do have to keep these together until I get them to your parent though. And then even then we can put them in a folder. So, I mean, your parent has seen the one they did, but like results and things, if you'd like that to be private until we know for sure, then we can do that. Okay, so yeah, if you want to just take notes of anything here. I know I have this big computer in my face. Sometimes the iPad's just easier to open and close, you know. And you can use this too if you need to see again what any of those kind of had to do with, because it might make you realize that a lot of things are actually a result of this. So yeah, just like experiences like that to make note of. That will help an assessor. And then I'll go back to trying to do this math real quick. Good Lord, there's a lot of noises outside the school. We have this one student, Madison. You may or may not know her. Her dad, lovely guy, but he's usually the one revving engines out there because he's trying to impress somebody's mom. Wouldn't doubt if it was Stacy's, but just I don't think he realizes what it looks like when he comes to the school and does that. I don't think he needs to be outside the school. So yeah, that's a thing. I didn't share last names, so it's fine, but that's what that is whenever you hear that. Okay, let's see, what are these ones requiring? 29 to 35. And I did only ask one of your teachers to do this for us. If your therapist requires a third person, another teacher, or another family member to fill something out, then we can have that arranged. But usually those two perspectives and then your own are good there. Looking for here 4 or 5. Let's write these one here. And it does help that these two people kind of see you in different settings, different situations, expressing different emotions, because at school, not to keep talking about me, but I feel like it, you know, sharing the experience may be helpful. I was one of the more well-behaved students at school. I was a stickler for making sure that I followed the rules. I wasn't one that stood up and made sure everyone else was doing it too. But, you know, I stayed seated when I had to sit. I listened as best I could and tried to have everything done before leaving the school, if I could help that. And just, I guess, being an exemplary student in terms of my actions. I was quite average with my grades. So, not in that sense, but yeah, so it did look like your teacher marked, and I know that like only 2 weeks is probably not enough time to get the best idea of how you are overall, but that's what we have with the concerns that came up. And again, I mean concerns in like a supportive way, not like it's the end of the world kind of concerns, you know. But where was the section that... So, yeah, there was a section about kind of like bullying and stealing and stuff like that. Your teacher put zeros for all of those. I would imagine because of, especially when you came here and we filled everything out, you had really good grades, so I assume you're kind of maybe either working really hard or maybe overcompensating to try to make sure that at least your grades are coming out good. Yeah, I can understand that, like doing the overcompensation to make sure people aren't seeing the struggles at school. I had a sore throat last week. I'm still dealing with however it's healing, so I'm very sorry about my tripping over my words and my weird sounds that are coming out. But yeah, like loses temper, actively defies or refuses to comply with adults. I don't think there was any sort of note about that in your file ever. And I think there's a teacher in the hall or something. I was hearing a voice. Angry or resentful, spiteful or vindictive, bullies, threatens or initiates physical fights, lies to obtain goods for favors or to avoid obligations, is physically cruel to people. My brain auto fills in things and it's wrong every time. Has stolen items of non-trivial value, deliberately destroys others' property. That whole thing is like zeros, full of zeros. Now I see that we're coming up on like 45 minutes in here. I will do your parents one real quick and then take, whatever time you need to do that. Whatever you can think of. Again, no pressure to do that here. You can definitely do more at home if stuff comes to you, because trust me, as you're realizing things will continue to come to you, and there's no rush. You can always mention things to me later. You can always tell your therapist some things later, but like the kind of initial stuff is just to start a roadmap of what we're going to do here. So yeah, did I flip that one over? Make sure I wrote on the right one. I don't know how this one got flipped over. I didn't flip this one. I didn't. No. Oh, there is a teacher in the hall. Sounds like she's on her phone. I hope everything's okay. But she's kind of loud. Coming down to the counselor's office to talk on the phone is a little distracting for people who may be needing to talk about more serious. Not that this isn't serious or means anything, but you know what I mean. Some people have lost family members and other situations like that. It just feels a little insensitive or so. Anyway, back to what I was doing. Do not mean to ramble on. It's just what I do. But that's fine, because I'm a counselor. You want to feel comfortable with me and stuff in here, so let me see if these numbers are the same. Oh, they're not. Oh, they're not. 41 to 47. Oh, goodness, where do we change? Oh, no, I'm gonna have to rewrite this. Pardon me while I have a minor crash out. Okay. Internally though, only internally. It's not appropriate in school. Okay, so this was 2. And this was 4. Because that's the same. Yep. Okay. Now I gotta do more counting. Hopefully I'll be quicker this time. Mark everything where I need to go. Oh, and I didn't introduce you to the fidgets. I have them out and ready to go. Didn't even think to do that. I can always score that later, like after you've left. Pardon me as I'm going to have to grab the bin real quick. Okay, I could not grab the full bin. It's quite heavy. It's got a lot of different fidgets in it, but we have a slug, of course. I like the slug. It makes nice sounds. You're welcome to always reach into this bin. I try to keep it on this side of the desk, so if you need to fidget with something while you're trying to focus, which I should have really offered you while you were doing everything there, but oh well. So this is a little die with the raised, I guess, pop-it kind of things. So you can push them in and then you can squeeze it because there's one pushed in there. So you can squeeze it and pop them out. Again, people like that for sounds and stuff. This is, people like this for anger or, again, sounds. Just depends what you fancy. Or we have this, I don't know, I think I first saw these like 3D printed or something, and they just kind of do this. Becomes like a lightning spear, and then it becomes an oval. I don't know, it's kind of fun. I haven't messed with this in a while, but there was something that I enjoyed about that at one point. And then I've got some fidget spinners, the OG thing that I first saw people using. Again, different sounds, different speeds, different whatever. And then I've got a larger version of this as well, somewhere in there, and that one goes in the dark, so that sometimes lights up in here when the lights are dimmer. But this is the Ono Junior, and it's kind of resembling, I don't think I have them in here, but like the size of 2 highlighters. And doing this, some people know because they do it, but other people are like, I've never done that before. So it's just a little activity like this, and it's supposed to be silent, but this is more sized for kids and small hands, which I thought my hand would fit this, but it's still a little too big. My hand is a little too big for it, so you can kind of hear it because it's rubbing my hand, but it's supposed to be virtually silent, so it's not disturbing anyone. So there's that as well, if you're not really into the sounds that happen with things. I also have puppets, more of these Fidget 3D printed things. There's a dragon, there's a squirrel, there's a dog, there's 2 more slugs. There's slime, but I try not to pull that out too much in here with the carpets, just in case it falls. There's definitely other stuff in there. I know there's like a smaller fidget cube that has a switch and a little, I can't think of the word, analog controller, what is it? Like on a gaming controller, the little, not the trackpad, but the little thing that you use to move. And then There's some monkey noodles, I think that's what they're called, but I knock off ones, so they definitely don't say monkey noodles. And then some of the popping tubes that you pull and they pop, and then you squeeze them back down, and those are kind of loud. Those ones are kind of loud, so we don't always pull those out, but some people really like them. So there's all of that stuff, and it has to stay in here. So, you know, if you need to cool down for any reason, they're here. But they do have to stay here. They can't leave this room. And then if you do want links or soda or whatnot to purchase your own, you can definitely do that. I can give those to you. But mine have to stay here because I do like some of them. So is there anything you want to mess with while you're sitting in here for a little bit longer? The Ono? Okay. Oh yeah, speaking of that, I do have something else by Ono, not just the bigger glow-in-the-dark thing. I have these things called signets. I think that's what they are. They're magnets with silicone on them. It all makes sense to me now. I don't know why it didn't click before. But those are also supposed to be virtually silent. There's different textures on them and whatnot. And I have bigger ones and I have smaller ones because I was sent prototypes of them. So I have like the first iteration, which was like, I don't know, 8 or 10 small, like little ones like that big. And then the ones that they came out with, there's only 6 in there, but they're like that big. So those are also an option. I'm just not going to dig through the bin because of the time we have left. But this is the fidget bin and you're able to go in there whenever you want. Yeah, so I'll leave that on there. Sometimes I grab everything and put it all back, and then you literally said, can I keep the Ono out? And then I'll put it back by accident. That's my attention span for you. Okay, so yeah, you're free to sit in here if you don't have anything else to write down. Otherwise, you can head back to class now if you do want to, but I assume you want to sit with the Ono for a little bit because I did just give that to you. And then I do have to check in with you and see if emotions have changed. Let's see what this says now real quick. 19 to 26. Oh, I hate when it jumps pages. Alright, let me do this real quick. Alright. $7 to $40, what a jump. Alright, so let me put this in here really quick. Okay, yeah, just from what I'm seeing here, I do think it is best for us to call your parent in, go over the findings that I have here, and then make sure to schedule an appointment with your therapist specifically to talk about this or begin assessment. because sometimes a regular appointment is not long enough unless they do break it up over multiple appointments. It just depends who you go to see. So yeah, I'm finding between the two, some are similar and some are different, and again, that's just because of the environment you're in, stuff like that. And sometimes parents will score their children a little bit lower. I think it's just a subconscious thing to kind of, I don't know if it's protecting them or not to be so harsh, or I'm not sure because I'm not a parent, so I don't completely understand, especially when it's going to eventually help you figure out what's going on and get you anything you may need to, like accommodations, more accommodations, and anything of the sort that can help you further advance and succeed in school, but also in life. Okay, so I see you wrote a few things on the back of this. I'm just going to staple all of this together, and then I'll slip it back in my folder back there. I'll put your parents' one on top so it has your information right there, ready to go. And then we probably have run over slightly, but that's okay. We will have the, oh, who's out at the front desk today for this office? Oh, I can't remember. Might be Stephanie. We have 2 to 3 girls that, you know, are out there depending on if somebody needs vacation or something like that. So I'll keep this with us as well. Put this stuff back on these clipboards. Do you have any questions or anything you want to talk about before you leave? Besides the emotions, yes. Oh, well, good. I'm glad I made you feel comfortable doing everything. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just how you process things, how you take stuff in. Everyone's different. We're not going to be all doing the same things, you know? All the time, especially. So, do you need me to pull out the little faces thing again? Because I actually have to put this back in there. Just make all the noise I can, huh? I'm so scared this is gonna get top heavy and just flip completely off of this shelf. That would be kind of funny though, huh? Then you'd have something to talk about when you go back to class. Alright, so I'll get out the faces, the emotions. Oh, I put it in here wrong anyway, it's upside down. I hope it didn't do that for... No, not both of them. Alright, there's that again, so you can look that over. And it's okay if none of them have changed, if one of them changed, if they all changed. Totally fine. Okay. So yeah, I'd say you are exhibiting signs of ADHD, but sometimes there's overlapping diagnoses here, so your therapist would probably know better about that. And sometimes things mimic other things. That's why a lot of the time anxiety is probably suggested first, because anxiety and even depression can cause you to kind of show some of these signs anyway, and so they do try to rule that out, but they're not, like, in my opinion, they're not ruling it out by just assuming that's what it is. So that's just my 2 cents there, but the therapist will take a look at everything and probably design an assessment plan for you. Like I said, maybe 1 full day or something of talking to you, family members, anyone else who spends a lot of time around you, getting some feels for how you are. I didn't put this away. Do you need more time with this? Okay. So how are you doing now? Yeah, there's probably a lot of things going on, huh? Okay, resilient. That's good. That's good. Still a little overwhelmed. Okay. Okay, so you're not exactly happy, but you're not, like, miserable either. Alright, that's good. That's good. So, let's see. Oh, I don't have the big wheel out. Oh well. We'll say content. How about that? I don't think that's on there. Is content on there? I don't know. I don't see it. But maybe it is, and I'm just looking too fast. Okay, I'm just gonna use my desk for this. I don't like to always be looking down when people are in here, but so let's see. Yeah, and you can still feel worn out. Yeah, that's understandable. But about this experience, you're feeling these ways? Okay. Alright. Okay. I like resilient. That's good. Okay. Okay, yeah. Good. Alright, so anything else you think I should know, hear about? How are the classes going? Everybody's okay then? No problems? Okay, good. That's what we like to hear. Otherwise, I'll be calling some people down here. Alright, you know, instead of writing you a pass, because I don't know if Stephanie's actually out there, or if anyone's out there right now. I can't really hear anybody talking. Normally I hear them typing or so, but at the very least, and I don't hear that. So I'll just call down to your teacher. And then I will also call your parent when you're out of here and schedule a time. I don't, maybe whatever works for your parent, honestly. I don't care if it's during school or a little bit after, but whatever's convenient, because I know everybody's working. So, take some notes. Okay, so it looks like You're with Miss Kelp right now? Okay. Alright, well, I'm gonna let her know that you're on your way back to class. And yeah, you can just leave the oh no there. Thank you. Put it back in here. Leaving writing utensils everywhere as well. And you don't have to discuss anything that we talked about in here with anyone, especially because I hope you're making friends, but I don't assume you have anyone you want to tell, like, your most dire secrets to, you know, even if you're not ashamed of this. Some people don't need to know everything, especially if you don't know them well enough still. Let's just say it that way, so you never know what people will do with information that's a little raw and vulnerable, new and stuff. So just my takes, just my wisdom, but do what you will. So yeah, you don't have to discuss it with anyone if you don't want. And faces. Make sure you gather all of your things, and you can schedule time to come back in here if you feel the need or need to talk about something else with me. I have slips in that binder that I am going to be printing out for the classes to take, so that if anyone needs to fill them out, they can fill it out and drop it off outside of the counselor's office area. We'll have a little drop box kind of thing for people to drop it in, and then we'll schedule things that way. But you are able to drop by as well if you need to. Okay. Alright, well, it was nice talking with you again, and you seem to be doing really good in school here, so it's a pleasure having you. And I hope you have a good rest of your day and a good rest of your week as well. Alright. Bye now. Take care. What's Miss Kelp's extension here? Hi, Miss Kelp. Yeah, I have our newest student that's in your class back on the way to you. They were here to discuss some personal things with me, as most of the time it is. So they are probably a little behind with what you've started learning in class, but that's okay. They'll catch up. Very smart individual. But I just wanted to let you know I didn't write them a pass because the office ladies have stepped out, probably for a lunch break or to go to the bathroom. They're just not here at the time I needed them. So yeah, they will be down and to you probably in 2 minutes or less. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah. Okay, bye. Now I'll call the parent. Hi, sorry to bother you in the middle of the day. I hope I didn't catch you at a bad time. Yeah, this is Miss Alyssa. Sorry, I should have introduced myself that way. I'm so used to talking to the teachers around the school where they see my number pop up and know who it is, but my bad, I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's Miss Alyssa. I just had your lovely child here, and we completed the personal assessment portion that I had available. I do not have a full thing, so I think speaking with the therapist and seeing if they have other assessment tools they'd like to use would be a great idea. But as far as what I was able to notice and hear, scoring everything up, I do believe it is important that you come here and we can kind of discuss things and just go over the findings and the visit we had together. And then I can give you the forms that you can take to the therapist and you can discuss with them their course of action, I guess, that they'd like to take with moving forward. Oh yes, they handled it quite well. They were a little overwhelmed at first and a little confused. Yeah, we can talk about that. I did take notes before and after about the experience, but they left feeling a little bit better about everything. They weren't upset. And yeah, I just gave personal experiences and information and whatever I knew, so yep. Yeah, I believe this will be handled very, very easily. And yes, medications aren't exactly necessary, but if you believe or if your child believes that it may be a good option to try them, even if your doctor and your therapist think that, then you can go ahead and give that a try. It's not for everyone. It's not like you have to be on something, but it can be very helpful and can be life-changing to some. So there are therapies as well. Yeah, so that's a decision that you all can make together. I can't really suggest anything as the school counselor personally, but there are those options available, yes. Okay. All right, well, it was a pleasure talking to you, and I had sent a note in the school portal about scheduling a time to come in. You don't have to figure that out right this second, because I understand you're probably working. Yeah. So maybe later on or tomorrow even, fill that out and we can schedule a time and we can all sit down and I can get you those forms, okay? Okay, thank you so much. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye. Alrighty here. I gotta figure out where the front desk ladies went.